not the best of days for Artur Boruc. He was at fault really for the first and the last goals. Kenny Miller couldn't quite manage a hat-trick. Nakamura's late reply mattered little. There was a stunning goal from Miller and a tap-in, and an even better one from Pedro Mendes on his Old Firm debut. A real sizzler. Rangers out of Europe this season, but this will go a little way, maybe a big way towards paying back their fans. A fully deserved and wonderful victory. The champions Celtic beaten at home by Rangers. Celtic 2, Rangers 4. Kenny Miller goes across to receive the adulation of the Rangers fans. Miller with one fabulous finish and one tap-in after a hang-up from Artur Boruc. And the Rangers fans won't be going home in a hurry, because you have to savour days like this, putting one over your rivals and on their own ground as well. An astonishing victory for Rangers by 4 goals to 2.
We shouldn't really have raised our eyebrows about Walter Smith's team selection at the top of the show. It worked well. He's with Stuart Lovell.
Walter, first things first, an outstanding performance and result for Rangers today.
Yes, good performance from us, and an excellent result. I don't think we could have imagined that coming to Celtic Park we would, especially at the start of the season there. We haven't been scoring freely. I mean, obviously we would never have imagined we would have scored 4 in a place that's very difficult to get a win.
What pleased you most about the overall display?
Well, I just felt that we trying to change around our way of playing from last season, which was something that we always had in mind to do. Always wondering if there's going to be a hangover for that. We certainly had a little bit of struggle right at the start of the season, but the last couple of games there we've settled down a little bit and we've played some good stuff. And today, I felt we played well enough, and we managed to get goals that have won us a game.
Is it in your mind to play 2 up front as often as possible this season?
Well, as often as possible, but we'll see. We'll have variations that we can use, but obviously that is something. I mean, everybody says that, but I think if everybody looked at the games last season, we played 2 up front in most of the SPL games last season, because we had a long European run where we only played with 1 striker. Everybody thought that was what we were, but we'll continue to chop and change depending on the circumstances.
Daniel Kuzan was at the heart of the action today, did particularly well to get his first goal, and then eventually he was sent off for, it looked like, persistent fouling. It was obvious it was a decision that angered the Rangers bench. What was your view on it?
I mean, now it used to be that was a feature of football, a clash between a centre forward and a centre half. I don't think there was any antagonism between Gary Caldwell and Daniel. There was a few fouls. Gary had a few fouls. Daniel had a few fouls, and I don't think any of them were malicious or anything like that. But in current football, you have to get booked, and I just felt it was a little bit unfortunate overall.
What was your view on the display of Kenny Miller, who of course ultimately won the game for Rangers with a couple of goals today?
A couple of good goals. One of them obviously presented 2 more or less, but the first one he scored was a good goal at a good time for us. The game, Old Firm games are inclined to swing at certain goals, and getting the second one today was a big thing for us. Sean Maloney missed one just afterwards, so if you don't take it, then you can rue the miss. But Kenny managed to get that one, and I'm pleased for him, because it'll let things settle down now and he can get on with playing football. Do
you think the result today will help to get the fans back on side after the disappointment of going out of the Champions League?
Well, it wasn't only the fans that were disappointed at going out of the Champions League. We were all disappointed with that performance. We take that on board. We'll have to go a long way before we can forget that one, certainly on the football side. But it certainly redresses the balance a little bit, and I think it shows that it was a little bit of an aberration from our own point of view.
Well done today.
Thank you.
His 41st Old Firm match.
But no, Nakamura from there, you'd probably say 7-8 times out of 10 he sticks it in the net, doesn't he? He's so good from that distance.
Let's hear from the Celtic manager, Gordon Strachan.
Gordon, what did you make of the game from a Celtic perspective?
Well, I went at half time, I thought this is fine, this is good, we've got ourselves back in the game. There's not been too many threats on a goal. I was quite happy with some of the stuff we were doing, and through some decent strikes and some bizarre defending, then we're on a defeat that we're not proud of.
Very rare to see Celtic concede 4 goals at home. Do you feel that was maybe to do with the fact you were committing so many men forward to try and get back in the game?
No, there was a bit of that, but there's also we were in positions where we could have done something about it, and we didn't do anything about it.
If you analyse the goals that you've conceded today, how would you feel about the contribution of your goalkeeper for maybe the first and the fourth goals?
Well, what we do is with the coaches, we'll meet together tomorrow and watch the game, and then have a look at it. Goalkeeping coach, Gary, myself, Lenny, and then we'll have a look at it and see where we could have done better.
What was your view of the red card for Jan Vennegoor at Hesselink?
I didn't see it, but I think the referee had a good game.
Obviously it's a disappointing result for Celtic, it goes without saying, but early in the season I guess you won't feel too down about it for long. You just get the head down and get on with it.
3-0 at Ibrox last year, and we were far worse than what we were today. At times we saw some decent football, creating chances, and as I said last year when we got beat at Ibrox, it was a real dinner. It's hard to take the day that we put ourselves in this position. We have to take it.
Thanks very much for your time, Gordon.
Thank you, Tam.
Never a dull moment in that Celtic technical area when he's around, and there weren't too many smiles from him today, more snarls, John Hartson.
Yeah, they were. He's clearly disappointed. As he said at half time, they were right in the game, but as he said there, I don't think he's going to be too critical of his players really, because as he said, I thought he summed it up. About Mendes 30-yard, a goalkeeping error which obviously cost Celtic, but at half time they were really in it, and it's very difficult for him, I suppose, to go in and sort of, they put so much into the game, Celtic, but unfortunately, Rangers, for me, they edged it today.
We're not going to be jumping to conclusions at this early stage with just 4 SPL games down, Terry, but that's a big lift to Rangers in terms of belief, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it lifts everybody, the fans as well, because there's so much doom and gloom after Cowness in the start of the season, and now all Rangers have is to try and get their hands on this trophy now, and Rangers are totally focused on that. They've got the personnel in place. Belatedly, you would have loved to have seen Mendes and Davis in action against Cowness and going into the Champions League, but that's not to be. But now they've got people in place, now they can look forward. I mean, you win an Old Firm game, it gives you massive confidence. They don't play again until near the end of the year for the return at Ibrox, and that's a long time. It's a long time to talk about 4-2 from the Rangers fans' point of view, but in the meantime there's lots of games to be played. Celtic played 2 away games after the internationals. Rangers have 2 home games, and we'll see what happens then, but then the Champions League kicks in. Rangers haven't got that. It's not easy for Rangers, because it's not nice to see Celtic in the Champions League, but having said that, they've got preparation time now.
John, could it be nip and tuck for this trophy alongside me again?
Well, I think so, yeah. I'm not so sure whether it'll go down to the last day again, but 2 or 3 weeks ago people were saying, well, it's all over, give Celtic the trophy. They were that sort of confident Celtic are going to romp it by 20 points, I was hearing people say, and I don't think Gordon for 1 minute bought into any of that. Walter Smith, as Rangers, and his passion for the club and his sides he puts out, while he's in charge there, he will have his players desperate to get this trophy back, because him more than anybody, I feel, will be really hurting having been pipped for it last year.
Next Saturday is World Cup Saturday on Setanta Sports. Firstly, Macedonia against Scotland from 1 o'clock, Setanta Sports 1. Later on in the afternoon we'll be